Hey guys, it's Jason here. So today's video is a small upgrade video as well as a few pointers that I've kind of picked up on the truck now. I finally got the truck going last weekend, not because I had any problems with it, it's just I hadn't had time and it was just sitting here looking awesome. So we're going to get right into it. The upgrades are new shock stops. Basically, they're the ball studs, but these ones have like the little screw in the washer on the end of them. So instead of it being open like this, and this could actually pop off if you hit something hard enough, there'll now be a screw in like a washer that holds these in. They're also 8mm. So you actually have to drill out your shock tower. You got to drill out part of the frame back here because these ones are a lot bigger. I'm going to do that later in the video. But first, I'm going to start with a couple of things I've discovered. One, when you build your dog bones, and I know this is going to be like, oh my God, as if he's talking about this, but when you build your dog bones, you got your dog bone, you got your shaft, put the little pin in, and you got a set screw. I did the red lock like they said, and I tightened it down. Well, I obviously didn't tighten it enough because my center one here, if we can even see it down here, I lost the set screw in the pin. So my truck went from 4-wheel drive to 2-wheel drive. I only noticed that because I was doing my break-in and I was noticing my rear end was starting to spin a little bit, like doing like a little burnout. And I thought that's odd for a 4-wheel drive truck. So I picked it up and did what you did. And sure enough, I had no front wheel drive. And that's when I discovered that it was the pin and set screw, which for some of us is a huge pain because, I actually wanted to put the Vekta pins back in it. They've got a little flat on it. They're the proper size. They're not necessarily all that expensive. But being that I'm in Canada, shipping is ridiculously expensive now. If you do the cheap shipping from DDM, it's $6, but the stuff takes a month to get here. The other alternative is $27, which is FedEx. You get your stuff the next day, but you got to spend $27. So I don't like doing that, obviously. So I bought the pins and then I bought, like I said, the upgrades as well, just to get those done. So this time around, when I was putting the set screw in, I put the dog bone in the vise and I wrenched it down hard. It's not coming out this time. Because to do that, the funny thing is to change that, to get that dog bone out, I had to, because I have a strip screw down here, the whole rear end had to come apart. So I had to shift everything back so I could get the dog bone out. Now, why I knew how to get that dog bone out was because on my first run, started up the truck, let us do it 6-7 minutes of warm up, was putting it down to kind of put it around. It didn't move. It revved up and it didn't move. So my first thought as a gas guy was, oh my God, it's the clutch. Wait a minute. It's a brand new truck. It's a brand new clutch. Can't be that. Started going through things. And I actually was lost. I thought nothing here makes any sense. I reached out to the guys on the Kraken Vekta 5 owners group. And I kept getting, a bunch of people saying things. And I was like, well, no, that's not it because I tried this. And no, that's not it because I tried this. And then someone just randomly threw in, did you check your slipper? And I thought, like, what's this guy talking about? This thing doesn't have a slipper clutch. And then I thought, well, I better go look. I built this truck months ago, 4 months ago, maybe 5 months ago. It's just been sitting here. It was wintertime first. And I just haven't had time to get it going. So I checked the manual, and sure enough, there it is, slipper clutch. And I was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong when I was building it? I took it out, and I was not anywhere near tight enough. I don't know what was going through my head when I built it the first time around, but I mean, it was nowhere near tight enough. So when you read the manual, it says, tighten adjusting nut, item, loosen, quarter, turn, and anti-clockwise and clockwise. Blah, 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 blah. What that means is crank it all the way down, back it off a quarter turn, and you'll be good to go. That's what I did, and the truck ran perfect. So what that means is just pay more attention than I did. I used a full honkin' set of a big ass adjustable. I cranked it down, and like it said, I backed it off about a quarter turn, and it's good to go. Some people have said they backed theirs off a little bit more. Somebody said they backed theirs off a full turn. So, I mean, it's something you could try when you're building this truck the first time. If you want to take it all the way and back it off a full turn, give that a shot, see how it is. There are ways of adjusting that without pulling everything out, but I think that would just cause you even more of a headache. So again, tighten that sucker down. You'll be good to go. And when you're building your dog bone, make sure you wrench that sucker in, because if you don't, it's going to be a huge pain in the butt. Okay guys, I've gone ahead and started with the upgrading. I didn't bother shooting video of how to loosen a screw and take a nut off, because I know you guys know how to do that. But I did want to show you guys the difference now between the two ball studs. So this is the stock one, the one that came with mine, the kit, and this is the new one. So you have a lot larger thread, 8mm, and then you have now that stop. So instead of, your shock will sit on, but it will also now have that screw, that kind of the washer and the screw down towards the cap, so that you have a lot better fit, so that your actual shock can't just pop off. Okay guys, we're going to get to the install. Hey guys, so I've gone ahead and drilled the first hole. I used a 5/16. That was as close as I had to 8mm. And I also just used a reamer just to kind of clean it up, just to get rid of any burrs or anything on it, just so we can get a nice smooth fit, nice flat fit. But that's how it's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and put that together. All right guys, I went ahead and got the one side all mounted up. So now we've got the much larger nut, obviously, because now it's holding on to that 8mm. See if I can get a better angle at that. There you go. And we now have, like I said, the washer. So this is kind of the big thing, is that now if the shock was to, come loose or start to pop off the ball end, it's going to hit this washer first, which is going to keep it from coming off, which is what you want when you're out there bashing around. You don't want your shocks popping off. There you go, guys. Kind of didn't talk there for a little bit, because I know people get tired of listening to me talk. But those are the fronts in. The backs will go pretty much the same way. The only difference is you do replace this rod, because obviously because of the 8mm now it's a lot thicker. So you drill this out, replace the rod, put the new ball studs in, and you have that new added kind of protection just to help it to keep your shock from slipping off. So I kind of just jumped into the rear. I've already drilled up the holes. As you can see, these are the two rods. So the one on the left is the one that was on there, the stock, and then the new one is on the right. But now I just basically got to drop this in and attach the studs. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished. I got the rears all done. It was pretty much about the same as the front. I drilled it out, and then you just kind of line everything up. I did pull the shock completely off just to remove and install the new ball stud. It makes things a lot easier. But yeah, you know, this is like one of those upgrades that, you know, it's not like a fun upgrade. It's not like you're replacing, you know, these things with some nicer ones, or, you know, the more shiny or flashy stuff, or anything like that type thing. They're just, you know, they're there to you know, basically improve the performance of your truck, so that, again, I think I've said it about 10 times, so that your truck doesn't pop off. But yeah, I got them on. I fixed my drive shaft issue. I've got the pin in, Loctited, and hopefully that'll be good to go. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be back out running this thing. I've only done about 3 50-minute intervals. So I've got a little ways to go for the break-in and stuff. And I want to do it right. I spent enough on the motor and pipe combo, that I really want it to last. Something else I didn't do a video on, but I did add the light bar, if you want to call it, and the spare tire mount to the body as well. I did that, I think, last week or whatever, and it definitely, I think, gives the truck a lot better look. Easier to show you guys. So I just threw the body back on the truck. But yeah, I definitely think that gives it a lot better look. And I definitely think the spare tire holder and the spare tire obviously really kind of helps out the rear of the truck, makes it look a little bit more off-roadish. And you know, it's sort of funny. My truck used to sit down here at the end, but when I added the light bar, it no longer fit under there. So I had to I changed my room around a little bit, and just so I could keep it where it is. It doesn't actually fit on the shelving unit. One tire will completely kind of hang off. You can get it to the point that it just sits, but it just sits like right on the bead, and I didn't like the fact of all the weight kind of sitting there. Yeah, I could put something under it, I could take the tires off, but that's kind of a pain. So I keep it over there, and I keep my smaller RCs on the shelf. Anyways, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully you get this, you know, kind of helps you guys out. I do this because when I kind of find a little problem, or I make a mistake, I kind of hope that the next person doesn't. So anyways, guys, have a great night. Take care.